Together we are but first coffee. Susie's just our host, but what matters most is we are a team. Together we are all safe here, and so are you. Among friends and mods we are safe. We talk about trauma, break down drama of life, death, happy or sad, even mad. We discuss it all here. Together we will thrive, not just survive. We will dry each other's tears, celebrate big or small wins, and chase away the fears. Together we fight cults or fight addictions. If not with experience, with love, and we don't judge. Please understand, this is a safe place to land. Please understand, you're not alone. This is a safe place to land. Together we thrive, not just survive. We will dry each other's tears, celebrate big or small wins, and chase away the fears. Because we are but first coffee, and Susie welcomes us all here. Together we are but first coffee, and Susie.
Hey, everybody. Good to see you. Look who I got with me. I have
guys.
the world famous Jersey Jan. Okay, the first coffee famous anyway.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. So how's everybody doing? John, if you want to come in on the stage, you are absolutely welcome anytime. You know that. I wasn't going to pop you on because I didn't know if you wanted to be, but if you want to, you're welcome. So, we're going to just talk a little bit tonight about just our mental health, okay? Especially during the holidays. I am a firm believer that the holidays are absolutely the best of times and absolutely the worst of times for our mental health, and it just kind of it can go back and forth just what feels like in the blink of an eye. I know myself anyway. And y'all know I am not a therapist of any kind. I am not a professional of any kind, and neither is Jan. We're just people that care. We're therapists is what we say. This is therapy. We're in therapy, y'all. So I really we're just going to kind of talk back and forth about some of the things that are bothering us, and we just kind of want you all to jump in the chat and do that too. And if there's something that you all want to go into more intently, I'll definitely pop in a link, and you can come on and talk to us on the screen if you want to do that. But you don't have to. You can chat, or you can put stuff in the comments after the show, or you can just lurk. We're not picky. We just like it that you're here. So I'm going to go ahead and check in with the chat, and then we will get started. So, Heat My Shorts is here. Good to see you. Good to see you. It's so weird when I see all my comments go twice, but it's because they're going to both feeds. So if I don't know if you all see that too, or if it's just me. So if I kind of look confused, it's because there's a lot. If I say anything on the chat, it like goes twice, and it's drives me nuts actually. But anyway, Julia O'Connell. I know your name. I don't know why I just like completely missaid it. It is good to see you. I did want to say something to you, Julia. I am aware that you stood up for me today, I guess, with Nora, and I don't know what she said. I don't know. But I did see what you said and I guess in a chat or something, and I just wanted to thank you. That's very sweet. It actually means the world to me when somebody else says, "Hey, knock it off." this is, I mean, I don't want y'all fighting my battles. That's not what I mean. But when you just, say that's not true because maybe somebody that saw you say that will think, "Oh, well maybe she's not this evil person that somebody's trying to make her out to be." So, I want to thank you. I just wanted to take a minute to do that. Marilee, it is always good to see you. And yeah, you changed your profile picture. I wrapped your Christmas present today too. All the Canada mods. I'm going to the mailbox tomorrow. I'm going to the post office. So, and then I'm going to try to get the non-Canada mods is what I was telling Jersey back there a while ago. I was telling Jan, yeah, ugh, it's a mess. So let's see here. John is here. He is on the in the background taking care of us. He will be starring comments. Loose squares. I like to hang out at the mall around the holidays and hate on all the happy families.
Aw.
Oh, that's not nice. I get it sometimes, trust me. But you know what I get to thinking about sometimes is, sometimes those happy families that we see at the mall, that's a moment in time. They're really happy right then. They're all together. Maybe they went and had dinner. They're going to see Santa, whatever they're doing. But we don't know what's going on in the background, what's going on behind closed doors. And so, you know, it sometimes it's like what I like to call pretty pictures. We all show pretty pictures of our lives, but what's going on behind those pictures is what we're here to talk about tonight. So, anyway, but it's good to see you and I hope that you stay with us and come back and see us. Hey, Sigh, good to see you. Cute ears. Did you see my ears? I
Oh,
wondered if
that's awesome.
anybody would notice the ears.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, there's one over here. They're both there. They kind of just sit kind of precariously on there, and I'm like, okay, I guess they'll stay. So, oops, wrong button, Susie. Aw, thank you, John. That's very sweet. You're loved, Susie. Never forget that. Well, you all are loved too. Yes. Yes, I agree. I feel trying to find the perfect gift can drive me crazy. I agree, Julia. I am struggling with some people's. I'm actually kind of proud of a couple of them I got, and but I don't know what has happened. I have already lost 2 gifts that I bought that I know are here. I don't know. I don't know where they went.
You
I
hid them
can't
so
say
well,
what
you
they
hid them
are.
from yourself.
I did, I guess. I don't know. I mean, like, there's not that many places they can hide, and I've been really good about putting them in a box, and either that or on my vanity in my bedroom. And I've looked at the vanity, I've been to the office, I have been standing on my head looking underneath the furniture today. And I can't say what it is, not that it matters, but both of them are for my youngest daughter. So I'm like, what in the world? Which the funny thing is she's kind of in she's in trouble anyway a little bit.
Uh-oh.
She Okay, so we have this thing that we're like, once about Thanksgiving is here, don't buy yourself anything. I mean, if it's some
Mhm.
kind of something you gotta have. But don't buy yourself any of the like giftable things. So she is crazy, crazy into bird watching. And she's ranked like number 23 or something like that out of the top 100 bird watchers in Tulsa,
Wow.
which is kind of a big deal. That I mean, there's not just 100, that's just the top 100. And so she's ranked really high. And so she goes, "What I want is I want some really good bird watching binoculars because they're different. They actually you don't see quite as far off with them. They bring stuff that's just out of that line of vision closer so that you can see that, but not they're not as strong as some of them are. But anyway, so they're specifically made for bird watching. So I'm like, "Oh, this is good." So I sit down. This was like the night before Thanksgiving. and no, it was like 2 nights before Thanksgiving because I already had them on Thanksgiving, so it was 2 or 3 nights
Okay.
before Thanksgiving. I ordered them. I searched for hours and found the right ones, the perfect ones, and this one that would actually, like, it has a bracket to hold her cell phone so that her cell phone will take a picture of what she's seeing.
Oh, that's so cool.
I know. Until we're talking about bird watching on Thanksgiving, and she goes, "Look what I bought myself."
Oh,
I'm
no.
just like, "You little turd." I said, "What happens who don't buy things?" She never buys herself something. So, I mean, if she said she wanted it in July, I would normally be safe to buy it. But no. Like, we literally probably they were probably on the same delivery truck. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
so she's in trouble. But wouldn't you know, it's her gifts that I can't find, 2 of them. So,
Now
they're
she gets
here.
nothing.
Yeah, she's not getting anything. I'll tell her, I'll be like, "Well, when I find them, I might give them to you because it'll be too late to send them back by then." But she's something. But yeah, that's what Julia, like, trying to find the perfect gift. That was the gift that I thought, you know, "This is it. This is gonna be the gift." Yeah, little shit. He's always been a pain in the butt, always. Thank you, Julia. I support you too. I watch all of your videos, and I'm always, really glad to see what you're talking about. So, anyway, absolutely. Whoops, I just keep hitting the wrong thing. So, John says, I let Amazon do all of the work for me. Yeah, I basically do too, except for when it gets here and I'm trying to wrap it and then I can't find it.
But you have to
Uh,
choose it. You have to research and choose it. That is stressful.
yes, it
Are they gonna
is.
like this? Are they gonna know what it is?
We used to like when me and my first husband first got married, we were like, I mean, poor. And so I didn't have money to buy like boxes to put things in and everything. So we just whatever we could find. I mean, I remember one time he had socks in a tampon box wrapped up
Oh,
under the tree.
I can just imagine what he thought when he
Yeah.
opened
Well,
that box.
yeah, he laughed about it though, because he knew that there's no money. He's lucky to get socks, much less a box to put it in. But this same Christmas, this same daughter that's now in trouble for, buying what I bought, uh, we got her I don't remember, I think it was a a hoodie from this restaurant that we absolutely love here, and, everybody buys these hoodies. They're kind of a little bit famous all over the place. But anyway, so we got her this hoodie. She was young, like 4, and, I stuffed it in a saltine crackers box because I didn't have anything else to put it. She threw a ringtail fit because she did not get crackers. She
Are you kidding?
she didn't want anything to do with that hoodie. She wanted the crackers. So I went and got her the crackers out of the kitchen and said, "There, have them."
Gosh.
This child's always. John said I look like a Vulcan, like Spock. Well, I've got a bigger pair that I'm gonna wear one day, and they have like Christmas ornaments hanging down off
Oh,
of
that's
them.
fun.
So
And you
yeah,
wear your Christmas hat with it, and you're all set.
yeah, yeah. I'm pretty easy to buy for. Yeah, I like everything. Julia says hers are hidden in the craft room. Okay. Yeah, wait, they have birds in Oklahoma? Yeah. A lot of birds. Yeah, smart aleck. Uh, Heat my short says bird noculars. Yeah, bird noculars. That's funny. Uh, did I miss Darcy's oh yeah, there she is. Hey Darcy, good to see you too. Is it Parby? Parby J. Good to see you though. I love this new way that we're streaming because we're seeing just a few, every show we see a few come in. So if any of y'all are new, if you really want to like do me a solid, then you could go over there and hit the like and subscribe. I really am trying to get to 2,000 by the end of the year, and it's not going to happen. But I can try. It doesn't cost anything. Yeah, I should, Marilee. This year I should wrap a box of crackers for her. She'd like it though. She would. She's very simple. She's adorable. She's my, she's like a very much a minimalist and just very into, birds and just all that kind of, just very I don't know, she hikes all the time. She's the one that her daughter that I have the picture of her daughter with the killer teacher.
Oh
She's
boy.
a teacher there in the town that they live in too, so any so and Steve, we used to have camels in British Columbia. Really? Cool.
Picture that.
I can't either. I can't either. Well, guys, I think we're gonna go ahead and get started. We've been just kinda or I have been just jabbering. The thing is like I am alone all day, every day till my husband comes home. And so, like, when I get on with you all, it's just like jabbers. And then by the time I get off of here, I'm like over it. I don't even hardly talk to him. But he gets all my talking on the weekends. We'll be going somewhere and I'm just like talk, 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 talk. And I know that he's just like, oh, is she ever gonna shut up? But I don't. Yeah, you had camel in Steve's area. That is so odd. I thought that it would be like way too cold. I mean, I don't know. I would have just thought it would be really cold. John says, I lived in Tulsa when I was a much younger man. I still dream about pie from Hammett House in Claremore. I don't think I've ever been there. Have you been there? Huh. I know there's a place called, what is it, the Hamlet they have ham, right? Yeah, I've heard of the Hamlet, but it's in Tulsa. Mark says he's heard of it. I haven't. It's so weird though that John lived in Tulsa. Man, that's just so weird.
I've been there once. I have relatives actually that live in Tulsa.
Really?
I do.
Mark's over there running his mouth. I don't know why he don't just get on the streams because he just like the whole time since I'm in here in the living room right now, he just talks and talks and talks. If I'm talking, he's over there mouthing off to the side. No, Indigo, I think we're gonna do it. I canceled that one today. I'm sorry. I thought I sent you a message. We're gonna do it next week because we had some scheduling conflicts. 2 or 3 of us had scheduling conflicts, actually. But yeah, so I'm sorry. I don't know. My internet's been weird today, so I sent it, but you might not have got it because of I sent you an email or not an email, a text. I can't even get what I sent you right, but it's all been weird because I use my internet to make phone calls and send texts and stuff here because we don't get good cell service, so I do it with our satellite. So yeah, the joys of living in the sticks. So Steve, it's a desert after all. They were brought during the gold rush. Oh, and then just let them roam free. I mean, it makes sense. But man, I would just think it was way too cold. It's like feeling sorry for the camels. So, okay, let's talk about a little bit about mental health check-ins and what we're thinking that is tonight. And I really don't have anything scheduled, or planned. I do have some notes that I wanted to talk about that might get the conversation flowing a little bit. And I do want to also talk to Jan about some of the struggles that she has. And because I don't know anybody that doesn't have some struggles here and there. Mark. But the holidays, like I said a while ago, they really do seem like the best of times and the worst of times, and it can just be such a rough time for people. And so, that's what we're here for. We're here to tell you that you're not alone, you're not crazy, and if you need a friend, and this chat is full of amazing people that will talk to you and help you through some of the hard times. And we also have some links in case you need that to some hotlines that'll be good. I put them in my community post everywhere. Or I just read her deal. Sorry, I put them in my community post before the live started, but I can also put them on the screen here, and you can screenshot them if you need to. But y'all, whether it's divorce or money stress, grief, loneliness, I mean, it seems like everything is just confounded at the holidays. And I know that that's true for me. Um, I'm really struggling this year with grief over losing my mom. And it's been 3 years. You would think that I would have been through the worst of it. But when I think that I've got through the worst of it, it's like, you know, you think that's over? Well, guess again, because here I come back rearing my ugly grief head. So, um, and right now, there's a lot of chaos in this community, with some of the creators that are arguing amongst themselves and everything. And so I really am trying to keep this channel a place where we can come and just relax. I mean, yeah, we talk about hard things, but I want you all to feel comfortable and loved when you're here, and just know that you can trust, you know, this 1 hour or whatever we do a day to get you try to get you through the holidays, and it's trying to get me through them too. So, if you're stumbling through December, so am I. So are a lot of people. What you see when I come on here for an hour, it's what I was talking about a while ago. It's pretty pictures. My mods know that behind the scenes, I am sometimes an absolute mess, and they talk me through a lot of really just times when I'm just like struggling, just struggling. So if any of that sounds like something that you might be going through, you are absolutely in the right place. This is the right channel, the right night for you. So, Jan, I know that you like me, we have we have our struggles. Is there anything that is really just weighing on you this holiday season, that the holiday is making it any worse, or is it just the same as always? Just
It's the same as always. There are always financial
yeah.
issues, and at my age, I hate having that as an issue in my life.
Yeah.
But this time of year is always rough. I mean, I don't really have any family. I have a lot of relatives, but I
Yeah.
have no family. And even when I was younger, my parents never made a big deal about this time of year.
Mhm.
There were never any big celebrations or parties or whatever. We'd have a holiday dinner and that was it.
Mhm.
So this time of year is for friends and family and getting together and having parties and
Mhm.
just enjoying each other, and I don't have that. I don't have
Yeah.
any of
Yeah.
that. So
And so
it gets me down.
yeah.
It does.
So you're Jewish, right?
Mhm.
Mhm. So, I'm wanting to do a show with you. I'm hoping we're gonna do that next week about that whole thing and the whole Hanukkah thing, and just yes,
Aw,
you have
thank you, hon.
family, Jan. It's right here. That's absolutely true. We are the family we choose, y'all. We are the family we choose. But I know what you mean, like what you just said just a minute ago, where you said you have lots of relatives but no family. Man, that hit home. And I'm wondering if that hit home for other people because, there is a difference in having family and having relatives. I've
There's
got
a huge
relatives
difference.
all over the place. And so, I'm wondering, because you are Jewish, I'm wondering if it hits different because you do Hanukkah instead of Christmas, correct?
Right.
Yeah. And so I'm I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how to word this. I don't mean that I think it's gonna come out wrong, but I'm trying to, like, get my point across. Like, I'm wondering if that makes you if this time of year does it ever make you kinda feel like the odd man out because you're not, like, into the whole Christmas thing? You're not celebrating that, or you just, like, not think about it, or, you know.
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes
Yeah.
it's, like everybody else is doing Christmas. Even I even know some Jewish people who do Christmas because they don't
Yeah.
wanna feel left out.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
Yeah.
my parents had these really good friends that used to, have a white Christmas tree, and they used to call it a Hanukkah bush,
Oh, really?
and then put, like, dreidels
Yeah.
and Hanukkah ornaments
Uh-huh.
on the tree.
Yeah.
But, yeah, sometimes I do
I
feel left
wondered
out.
about that. That was just one of the things that I wondered. And, we'd never know. There could be several other people that are Jewish out in the, in the chat or the in the lurkers or whatever. And I've always just kind of wondered about that because while, I'm out celebrating Christmas and all that stuff, and I've always been very interested in all of everything surrounding Hanukkah and all of, what everything means and what they do and how they do things and all that. And then I've kind of sat back and I've wondered, I wonder if they feel, like they're kind of the odd man out, kind of, with everybody else doing, but maybe not if they're in bigger Jewish communities where everybody that they're around is doing the same thing. So do you
Just
have
gonna
a Jewish community that you're involved with?
I don't. That's why I don't feel that community, and I do have
Yeah.
that left out feeling.
Oh,
Plus, like I said, my parents never made a big deal
yeah.
about Hanukkah. It was a family dinner, and we exchanged presents, and that was it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I know other people that I went to school with, that I went to Hebrew school with, that
Mhm.
everybody's different, every family's different,
Yeah.
everybody does
Same
their
with
own thing,
same with Christians.
and my father was brought up Orthodox, so that might be why we never did
Yeah.
anything. My mom was brought up Reform, so they kinda came
Yeah.
together in the middle to raise us, and they just never did any big thing
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
any holiday, actually.
Yeah. So I'm wondering the people in the chat, do you all do, big celebrations regardless of if it's Christmas or, Hanukkah or whatever it might be? I'm wondering, do you do those big celebrations or, do you have communities or family, relatives, whatever that you share that with? I'm really curious about what other people do. We have such a huge amount of relatives, but whenever we have a holiday, it comes down to basically, like Mark and I, our daughters, their spouses and kids, and my dad now. Every once in a while I've got a nephew that'll show up. Every once in a while my brother shows up. He usually kind of does his own thing and has my dad over there because we don't get along.
Mm,
So
I relate to that.
yeah. Yeah. I don't speak to my brothers and it really there's not like an absolute that we don't speak. It's not like we are not speaking kind of thing, but we just don't. We just absolutely don't. My dad keeps him informed about me, keeps me informed about him, and I was talking to my daughter the other day and I said, the sad thing is that I don't know if when something happens to my dad, if I'll even ever see my brother or talk to him. And we were so close growing up. And that really wears on me at this time of year because it was always all about family and more so about family than anything else. And so, now I'm just like that's one of the things that's weighing so hard on me. And anyway, so I'm just wondering if anybody is also going through that through, families that don't get along. And the thing is with me and my brothers, it's over politics, which is the dumbest thing to fight about. It is, I just if you had ever told me that politics would ever, tear our family apart, I would have thought, that they were whoever said it would be nuts, And yet here we are. I've got 2 brothers that really don't talk to me, and it's 90% of it is about politics, so crazy. Anyway, so I wanna kinda keep up with some of these starred comments as we're going because 'cause I'm always really interested, and I hate to get to the end and not remember what we were talking about. So, let's see. So, John says, "The holidays are always hard for me, but this year feels worse. I don't know what I'd do
Mhm,
without my close friends and this amazing community." I understand, John, I really do. This has been a weird year for a lot of people. It's been a hard year, a lot
mhm,
of change, and I don't know. It's just really it's been a year.
mhm. And you're not alone either, John.
No, you're not. And we are so glad for your friendship. You mean so much to this community. Like you think that we mean so much to you, but you equally mean just as much to us as you think that we
Mhm.
mean to you. So, anyway, let's see here. Julia says, "Everyone's mental health is key. I take time for myself. Good for you." That is one of the things that is absolutely important. And we have said that before when we were talking about self care and how it is not selfish, it is not silly. Those are things that we absolutely need to do. And whatever that means for you, if that means just, shutting the computer down and everything and just stepping away from drama and everything for a day, then do that. If that means that hot bath and maybe a glass of wine or whatever, do that. Whatever it is, you know, it is so important. You can't pour from an empty cup. And so, that is just so important to remember.
That's why on airplanes, they tell you to put if the mask comes down, put it on yourself first, and then
Absolutely.
the person or the mine or whoever needs help.
Mhm. Indigo, this is so wise. That really is wise. There is no timeline on grief. I absolutely believe that. I told John and I were talking about it a few days ago, and I told him that my mom's been gone 3 years, and this is the hardest year I've had. But right after, literally, right after she passed, I mean, days within it, was when I found out that I had cancer again.
Oh, no.
And so I immediately went into fight mode. And of course, I was grieving my mom's loss, but I really didn't have time in my brain to
Mm.
think about it that much, to, really work through the actual grief process. And so now that I'm so far, almost a year with no new cancer growth, y'all, um, I it's like it's all hitting me almost fresh. It's almost like it just happened. And so but I also know that I know other people that have had grief that cycles back, like that they'll grieve really hard and then they'll start to feel better. And then sometimes a year, 2 years, 3 years later, it hits them hard all over again. And so, I don't know if anybody is going through that. I know that some of you, including John, has lost a child, and that has to be the most unimaginable grief. And so, I'm wondering if how some of you get through these holidays. You know, it has to just be I don't know. I don't even have words for it. I really don't. So Julia says I am a oops, I would hit the right button. I am an Episcopalian and I have a Jewish sister-in-law. Well, that's cool. So you get to hear about some of the traditions and the everything. I'm excited about talking to Jan about it and just hearing. I want to hear about Hebrew school. I want to hear about it all. And I just I am absolutely fascinated by it, and it seems to be honestly one of the only religions that I don't hear a whole lot of cult talk about. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Well,
yeah, I'm really interested.
if you start to talk about the Hasidim, then you'll hear a lot of cult talk.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise,
But
not so
in
much.
general, yeah, in general,
Hmm.
there's not as much. I
Mm-mm.
mean, I'm like, "Man, they gotta be doing something right." I mean,
Yeah.
seriously. I'm really interested, and I feel I always there for a while, I would think, "Well, that's just something I'm interested in. That doesn't mean anybody else is." But I have over the last 2 years that we've been doing this show, almost 2 years, I have found out that a lot of the things that I'm interested in, there's a lot of other people out there interested too, and maybe they just don't have the platform to say, "Hey, come on and talk about that." I wanna hear about it. I'm nosy. I am nosy. That is one thing. I am. I wanna know everything. Like, I do. I just and and I do that about I'm completely fascinated with the Catholic religion, and John can come on and tell us a bunch of stuff with that, and, I'm like whenever I talk to Christy, who's now, she's pagan, and I'm really interested in hearing how she is with that and everything, and, I don't know, it's just people's belief systems just absolutely fascinate me, and, it's so funny because even in the Christian faith, we all have such different belief systems, and it's probably the same with, like, the Jewish people because there are so many different kinds of Jewish people, so I'm wondering, is it just the customs that change, or is it the actual beliefs?
Um, it's how strictly you stick to the customs
Yeah,
and the rules. There are really only three different
yeah,
groups. They're Reform, Conservative, and Orthodox.
mhm,
And again, so it's how strictly you stick to the rules. And again, each temple too is different because I
yeah.
remember in my 20s, I remember I had younger cousins that were being bas mitzvahed, and we went to their temple. My brother and I looked at each other like, "What is going on here? This is not allowed in our temple. We don't do this." So
Yeah.
every temple is different.
That's how I did whenever we went to I grew up Baptist, and Mark grew up Methodist. So whenever I left the Baptist church, we went to a Methodist church, and I don't know, I liked it, but boy, that first few times I went, I'm just like, "Okay, this is way different than what I'm used to," I mean, it's basically the same faith, but just the way that they do things were different,
Exactly.
and I'm like, I don't know. I'm afraid I'm gonna mess up. So, yeah, ugh. I live in a part of Detroit that has a large Hasidic Jewish
Oh.
population. I've heard them referred to as the Jewish mafia because of the way they dress. Oh, yeah. We were talking about that too. Yeah. I'm fascinated by that. There's all these reality TV shows, and they'll show these different things, and so it piques my interest. So, let's see here. John says it's funny because I had Jewish friends growing up and I was always jealous of them because we only had one night of celebration, but they had 8. The grass is always greener on the other side.
There you
Yes. I know. I think that that's really cool too. I've been reading a little bit about it just in preparation for when you and I talk, and I don't know, I told my daughter, I said, "So far, it sounds cool." I said, "I saw a lot of stuff about, there's 8 nights of gifts, and there's candles, and there's fried food." I
Yeah.
said,
Yeah. Yeah.
"You know?" I said, "Count me in." She just laughed. She said, "Oh, Lord, mom." And I don't mean that as any kind of, to make fun of anything. I'm
Oh, no.
serious, I'm absolutely serious. Ugh.
Oh, yeah, that's the one thing, we eat. We eat well. Not healthy
Yeah.
at all, but we eat well.
Yeah, I don't care. I think it's I don't know, all sounded great to me. Marilee says, "We're definitely not Christian, but we do a pretty big Christmas celebration. We just call it a Saltus celebration." Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. So, and I'm wondering, I'm wondering if people with other religious beliefs, if they have the stress associated with the holidays. I don't know. I just wonder. And then I was thinking about it today, and I was thinking about the whole stress around the holidays, and I was I don't know. I'm wrapping gifts and I'm thinking about, this is crazy. All these gifts and but what I was thinking about was like we've done this to ourselves. Like we've commercialized it. We've made it more stressful. You know, before it wasn't like that. I mean, like even if you go back, I'll tell you what I was thinking about was like Little House on the Prairie. And I was thinking about, in those days, they would just have like a little gift and it was wrapped in cloth with a ribbon or something tied around it, and it was just their family. They didn't worry about having these big, you know and I know that was a TV show, but it was based on reality.
Mhm.
And so back then, it was just there wasn't all the stress, and it seems like that the more ways that we have to make our life easier, that the harder we make our lives, and that the more stressed we are. And so it just I was really that's what I was kind of thinking about when I was thinking about this show was that we're doing this to ourselves. And I wonder if we wouldn't just be smarter to just be like, I'm not doing it anymore. Kind of like with Scientology, I've been mocking up my, you know, I'm not going to do it anymore. Now you know,
Yes,
I still,
John, you do.
so anyway, so B says, I have 3 kids in other cities and I'm at the top of the food chain, meaning everyone has passed. Oh, I know. That's another thing that I
Oh
think
boy.
brings stress to some of us was when we realize that we are the oldest generation. I mean, like I've got my dad and a couple of aunts and a couple of uncles, and they're all about the same age. They're all in their like late 70s, early 80s kind of thing. And then there's me and Mark. Same with him. I mean, like once his mom is gone, he's he's the old dude. I mean, and I think that that can add some stress too because I don't know. I don't feel like the oldest generation of my family. I don't feel like that internally. But when I look around and like I'm the oldest person in the room, well, not anywhere I'm at because Mark's older than me, but but other than that, it's weird. And so I get it, B. I get
Yeah.
it
I
that
wonder how we got
everybody.
here. How did we get here? How did we let this happen?
I know, I know, and we just keep adding stress by
Yeah.
making our life easier. Like I don't know. I'm hoping that our grandkids, our children and our grandchildren, and I'm hoping they go back to an easier, just simpler way of life and really understand that all this crap that we put around the holidays is it's unnecessary. It is just who cares if you have the perfect Christmas dinner or Hanukkah, whatever. Who cares? Who cares if you bought the perfect gift for someone? If you bought something that they like, that meant something to you, that's good enough. If you didn't, if you can't afford it, like my daughter Katie, the one that she's in trouble.
Someone's in trouble.
Yeah. She just went through a divorce this year. She's, you know, doing an amazing job of, you know, paying her own way. She's got her own home now. Well, she rents it for right now, but anyway, But she does. She's got a home. She's paying her utilities. She's paying all of her bills. She's taking care of her kids. She's feeding them. I mean, he pays child support, but I'm extremely proud of them. They're like the poster children for divorce. They still do everything together. They went trick or treating together. They go to I mean, y- some people don't know they're divorced because they're still just really good friends, and that's amazing if you can do that. No, was not happening. I say that. I know if I needed anything, my ex-husband would be there immediately, and I would for him too. And Mark is great, with him. We get along. They've been to our house. They, but yeah, not right after the divorce. It wasn't happening then. But but yeah, she told me the other day, she said, "Mom, I am only gonna buy gifts for my girls." And I was like, "Good." I was like, "Good." And, I told her, I said, "I'm cutting it down to everybody's getting, all my grandkids are getting 4 gifts and that's it. The kids are getting 4 gifts and that's it. And the gifts that I'm buying are not the elaborate gifts that I have bought in the past." And we've decided this year to do more things. Like we want to go look at Christmas lights. We want to make Christmas cookies together. We want to do things and not spend all of our time worrying about gifts. So, yeah.
Yeah, I know a family that I grew up with that is so big. I mean, they had 7 kids.
Oh, wow.
So all their spouses and all their kids, and then some of their kids now have kids. The family's huge.
Yeah.
So I think what they do is they pick a name or 2, and that's
Mhm.
it. It's like doing a Secret Santa, but
Yeah,
that's your person, that's the one you're buying for, and that's it,
absolutely. You know,
because it's just
whenever
crazy.
whenever I was growing up, of course, my dad's family, his parents had 7 kids. So then, there's 7 kids, and then they all got married, and then they all had kids, and one of those kids had 8 kids. So,
Oh, my
yeah.
goodness.
So, I mean, it was crazy,
Mhm.
but I remember, and I never remember thinking, "Gee, cheap ass or something," I never we never cared. But, like, sometimes my grandpa, he would give us, because my grandma died when I was pretty young, but, I remember grandpa, and, like, he would give all the kids, like, $1 or a candy cane or something like that, and then, like, all of the men, all like, his sons and sons-in-law, they all got 1 pair of socks, and all of the daughters or daughter-in-laws got a bowl. And he would actually go buy, like, at some kinda dollar store type thing, or because we didn't even have Walmart then, but he would go buy, like, a set of bowls, and he would open them up, and he would give each person one of the bowls. Yeah. So, I mean, he really, and it was just so fun. I can remember those Christmases being so much more fun. And I was talking to my dad about it the other day, and I said, "Did you all feel the stress?" And I was explaining to him some of the stress that people, feel now. And I said, "Did you all feel that?" And he's like, "No." He said, "We didn't even feel it whenever, when you all were kids." He said the most stressful thing when we were kids was that he didn't get paid, and he got paid once a month. And so he didn't get paid till Christmas Eve. And so, like I was telling the other night, we would have to bunch up and go. Mom would put it in layaway, and back then they would let you keep it till Christmas Eve. You had to, like, beg them basically, but they'd let you. And so she would put it on layaway, and they would go pick it up. And he said that was the most stressful part, was that it was all on Christmas Eve. We're trying to go hurry, do that, and get back and wrap everything, and you know, and all that. He said, but he didn't feel like stressed to get the right gifts. And I had asked my mom about it before, and she said no, that it really wasn't stressful for her back then. And I keep thinking, I keep going back to the same thing of it. The more that we make our lives simpler, the more we're really making them more
Complicated.
stressful and
Yeah.
harder. Yeah. It's crazy. He says it definitely has been a tough year. It absolutely has. It
Mhm.
absolutely has. And I think that everybody's feeling it. It's, you know, sometimes I think, well, maybe it's just here because of our political climate and all that. And then I think, no, because I mean, I've got friends in all kinds of places all over the world, and they're having the same stress that we're having, just different reasons. So it's just, I don't know. So Julia O'Connor says this is heartbreaking when family can't connect over politics. I agree to disagree with my fiance. I have tried that. I really have with my brothers. The one I really have not talked to in probably 4 or 5 years at all. Like literally. Um in fact, his son was killed in a traffic accident and I found out online. They didn't even tell me. And
Yeah, I
it
can relate to that too.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
When my brother was very sick of
Mhm.
several different cancers at once.
Oh,
And I knew that he got to a point where there was nothing else the doctors could do. But
mhm.
I did not know when he passed away. I found out on Facebook. And it
That's how I
wasn't
found
even
out.
yeah, it wasn't even a post directed at me. My cousin just put something up there in general that I
Yeah.
happened to catch.
Yeah, that was how this was. I just I saw something that it was actually something that this boy that passed, he was young. I mean, like 21 maybe. And I saw his fiance posted about how do you because they had a child together. And she was saying, how do you tell your child that their daddy is never coming back? And I was like,
Yeah.
"What? Who's she talking about? Who has passed?" Kind of a deal. And then I read a couple of the comments just and I don't necessarily always read everything that she puts on cuz she has a whole family that I'm, not
Mhm.
part of. And she has a whole lot of family I'm not part of now apparently cuz her family and mine. But yeah, um I read a couple other comments and I figured out that it was him that had passed, and I mean, I hit the ground. It tore me up. He and I were actually very close. I'm actually still fairly close to the children. I call them children. They're grown ass adults, but I am still fairly close to my brother's children. Um, but he doesn't talk to me. And then my other brother that he's in Texas, but the other brother that lives here in Oklahoma, he doesn't officially not talk to me, but he don't talk to me,
Mm.
It's just ugh. Yeah, and then the kick in the butt is that he is the executor of my dad's will because my dad said that, whenever he made his will, I was so sick with chemo and everything. And so he didn't wanna lump that on me, so he made my brother the executor. And my brother, he keeps saying that if anybody well, who else is left? There's me and him, you know? But he says if anybody complains, then they get $1.
Well, that's not up to him.
Yeah, but he's talked to my dad about it, and it's a mess. Let's just say it's a mess. But
Mm.
I'm just like, if anybody complains, you're the executor. Your best friend's wife wrote the will up. Even his best friend is an executor, and I'm not. So I'm literally the one that's, you know, family. Sometimes,
Yeah.
yeah. uh,
My friends mean more to me than my family does. We're so screwed up.
yeah. Ugh. So Marilee says Yule would be the original that comes from celebrating solstice. I love the season. I'm looking into this whole winter solstice thing too and trying to figure out what that is. Like I said, I'm like a sponge. I just like to soak up what everybody's doing and their beliefs. And I always think that if I know just a little bit about stuff that I can have conversations with people and not be going, "What? What's that? What?" Like, you know. So I like to know a little. So let's see here. Indigo says, keep my shorts. I think having spaces to hold for the ups and downs of grief is important. Yeah, we
Mhm.
do. And I am really figuring out that grief, I know that there's no timetable on it and everything, but it is really hitting me hard how it can just it really is like this. It's just up and down, up and down. And my sister passed in 96, and there's days that I still can't think about her. If we start to talk about her, I'll be like, "Nope, nope, nope." Like, "Nope, can't do it." So, and I've been talking to a friend of mine, um, just mostly just short messages, but she is a creator and she lost her mom 2 Sundays ago.
Mhm.
She had recently moved in with her mom to take care of her after her dad died, and she does videos. She doesn't do lives, but she does videos, and her mom passed while she was upstairs doing a video. And so the guilt and
Mm.
everything, but she's saying that she's gonna try to have a good Christmas, that her mom would have wanted her to have a good Christmas, would and, there was absolutely nothing she could do. They have said that it was instantaneous, but boy, the trolls have come out and just been awful to her.
Oh,
Just
that's a shame.
absolutely awful. Yeah, they were saying that they could hear her mom screaming for help in the background of her video, but that wasn't that. She was yelling at the dog to quit barking because the UPS man was there. So that's how sudden this was. Like she, just like had a heart attack and died. And like she's hollering at the dog. She's, doing the normal stuff. She was downstairs watching Christmas movies, and Aaron was doing that. And when Aaron went to check on her to see if she wanted something to eat or drink, she was gone. So, very sad. Very
Mm.
sad.
At least she didn't suffer, though. That's a good thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Marilee says, I have such a big family. I think it's going to be a long time for me to be the top of the food chain, if ever. That's amazing. That is amazing, actually, Marilee, because I'm telling you, it happens so quick. Like, I mean, honestly, like, there's hardly anybody in my family that's left that's older than me. So, ugh. Aw, Indigo says, I like to honor people with gifts and find ways to show that they are loved. Absolutely. And if
That's
you put thought into it, you know, and I think that if you do that, if you put thought into gifts and if you're buying thoughtful gifts and not worrying about if it's flashy enough or, that kind of thing, I think that can kind of help reduce some of the stress too. Because if you, unlike my daughter, who like I was just like, thought I have got this one made when I bought those binoculars, birdnoculars, and but it was like a thoughtful gift. They weren't cheap, but they weren't. I didn't get the 12 or $1,300 pairs. I got the like less than $100 pair, and so the teasing thing that I do now is I'm like, yeah, but do yours have this? And she's like, no, and I'm like, well, what about this? Will they do? She's like, no, and I'm like, hmm.
regretting that purchase now, are you?
Yeah, you're regretting that now. I bet you don't go buy you anything after you tell me that's what you want next year, will you? Ah, and John says that's why the 48-hour live stream on the village is so important for so many. I can't wait for us to be part of it. I can't either. I'm really looking forward to that. And I really want to see who else is doing, lives on that. I think that is just such a lovely thing for everybody to get together and like I personally couldn't go 48 hours and be live and be worth anything. But if we get enough people together, then we can do it and we can be there so that nobody has to be alone on Christmas. And I think it's such a beautiful thing. I really do. I heard about it last year and I was just like, this is the coolest thing in the world. So, so let's see. That's how our youngest daughter found out about both my mom and her aunt. Oh, that's so sad. People really just need to not post things on Facebook until they know everybody's been. But I mean, the thing is with my brother was he probably just never even thought to contact me. He's not
Mhm.
talking to me, so he didn't think about it. But boy, it's hard. And I don't know. It's awful. Hey, Eric, good to see you. Oops. Just you, me, and Ben Bacon Strip. Yeah, we're calling him Ben Bacon Strip now instead of Bacon Bits. Ugh. My family used to go to my uncle's house for Christmas, but my immediate family moved to Georgia and Virginia, so I only have my parents and my brother and some family here in California, so it's hard. Yeah, I get it. But just like feel blessed to have what you've got, Eric, honestly, because there are so many people that don't have anyone. And it can happen so quickly. It, it just can. I mean, people move, people, even like children that get married, grow up and get married, and then they've got to do things with the other family. Like, I feel bad because, on Thanksgiving, Mark still stays with me and my family for Thanksgiving and isn't with his family. And, I feel bad about that. And so we're lucky that on Christmas his mom does their family's Christmas on Christmas Eve, and then that leaves us to do things here on Christmas, which the reason that it kind of started that way was that, whenever we got married, my daughters were still young, so we still, got up Christmas
Mhm.
morning and did that whole thing. And so it just worked out better, but I never forget that, there have been allowances made to make it easier for me and for Mark to still be able to celebrate with both families. And so, maybe Eric, y'all should do like a like a Zoom call or something, like a that kind of thing. That would be fun for people that have, moved off. You could, do that.
That
That'd
would
be
be great.
Yeah,
What a
it'd be
great
a great
idea.
way. Yeah. Because I mean, like, I hardly ever call my daughters anymore. We're always doing some kind of like either just a voice call, where it's just our voices, or or if we're not like really busy, we'll sit down and we actually see each other. We do a video call, and I mean, one daughter lives next door, and I still do video calls with her. And then the other one lives 25 minutes away, and I still do them with her. But, even when you live real close, that doesn't mean you're not busy, and she's living her own life. I mean, they've got 5 kids. One's married and out of the house, but, she's got all these kids and she homeschools and busy, 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 and,
Yeah.
just so yeah. But that's an idea you might try, Eric, is see if you all could just do, on just Facebook Messenger, you can just do like a video call on there. You can either do just voices or you can actually do video on there. And I mean, it might be a way that you could still connect with some of your family that have moved away on Christmas or Christmas Eve or, whenever. So let's see here. Okay. Julia O'Connor said, I had a similar situation when my cousin's child was hit by a car at a hockey game. It was absolutely heartbreaking to see that post. Oh, those posts are killer. Absolutely. And I know so many people that have lost loved ones right at the holidays. I don't know how they stand it. I don't know how that they pick up the pieces, much less that holiday, that year. But in the years after that, I don't know how people do it. I just don't. I don't. It's so heartbreaking. John says we all love Ben, or as B calls him, Benigma. Oh, he is something. I mean it. He's not here tonight, I don't think. Or else I just haven't seen him. He's Probably off busy doing something. So I'm trying to see if I've missed anything. So, well, I really appreciate you coming on with me, and I hope that just us sitting here and just talking about just silly little things that have bothered us that it I think that it helps people just know they're not alone.
Hmm.
That that if somebody that, you're somebody they see in the chat and everything, all the time, and, they see me on this stupid screen all the time. I hate it. I'm telling you, I cannot look at myself. I am always trying to look at anything but myself. But your eyes, like if I move, my eyes are drawn to see what the movement was, even though I know it's me, but my brain doesn't catch up. So, yeah, but anyway, so my point being is if they see other people that they know or that they feel like they know or, they're comfortable around that are also having hard times, I think that
Mhm.
that just makes them know they're not alone. And
I
so I
know.
do wanna see if I can bring this up real quick before we go. Um, Let me see. I forgot to put it on the deal, so take me just a minute. So, if y'all want to screenshot this,
Mm.
hold on just a second. I'm gonna move this off of there. That is some crisis hotlines that you can use here in the United States. And and I was reading a thing and they were saying you don't have to be on the verge of unaliving yourself to call these places. If you are just in a dark place, if you are just incredibly lonely, if you are just, you know, scared and alone, whatever it is, they would much rather talk to you then and lift your spirits than, to find out that you didn't call and that it escalated and that you unalived yourself. So, yeah, if you are in some kind of a crisis, absolutely call them, but you don't have to wait until till it's bad. And I thought that was really cool that they were putting that
Mm.
out there that you don't have to wait.
That's great to know.
Yeah, yeah. I read that on several different things today that I was reading. It was saying, make sure you tell people don't wait till, they're, you know, really in a bad place. I mean, if they are, then of course call then too. But if not, and these are some in Canada, the United Kingdom, Ireland, Australia, New Zealand. I'm
Wow.
sure that there's a lot more, but I did find those. And so, yeah, there's places all over. And, we're just people care. People really do care. And that's why we're doing these. That's why I wanted to do uh Vlogmas really was that I kept thinking that if people didn't have family or friends to celebrate with and to do the lead up to the holidays with, that if we got together every day for an hour and talked about Christmas stuff and talked about, whatever, that maybe they would feel like that they were with family. It's their chosen family. So that's why I wanted to do it. And I don't know. I guess I'll do it next year too if people they seem to like it. So I'm probably going to do it next year too. But anyway, Jan, I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for being here. And I really do want to get with you next week and talk about stuff too. I've got so many just amazing topics that I want to talk about. And I'll kind of be glad when Vlogmas is over because it's like, man, I don't want to do 2 shows every day, you know, but I don't want to not do Vlogmas. So anyway,
Thank you,
but
John.
yeah, yeah, we
Well,
just
thank you for having me on.
yeah, yeah. And thanks, John, for being in the background. Thanks to my mods. Thanks for all the people in the chat and everybody that's lurking and all the people that will be on the replay. Please, if there's something that's really bothering you, leave a comment in the comments on the replay. And somebody will talk to you. I promise. I for one, I answer everyone. If anybody says anything that requires an answer that they're looking for an answer kind of thing. I do answer back everybody that leaves comments. And if I don't know where to point you for help or whatever, I've got some friends that will know, and I will get back to you. So I just don't want anybody to feel alone this holiday. That just breaks my heart to think of people feeling alone. So I'm going to go ahead and go, and we will be back tomorrow with night 12 of Vlogmas. So everybody have a good night. I love you, and we will see you tomorrow.
Night.
Hope you enjoyed the show, so glad you were here. We meet here most days, we're but first coffee and you're welcome here. We talk about hard subjects, but we also laugh a lot. If you have a loss or win, we will cheer for you. We're but first coffee and you are safe here. So hit those like and subscribe buttons, notifications set to all. You don't want to miss a show, because this is your home to y'all. So hit those like and subscribe buttons, notifications set to all. You don't want to miss a show, because this is your home to y'all. So hit those like and subscribe buttons, notifications set to all.